is a hard time.
Welcome. This is Young Family Taiji Section 2. And today we are going to review fan through the back. And then the new move is going to be turn body chop with fist. And it's somewhat complicated. So we're going to have to do this in bits and pieces. Hi, Yukiko. So why don't we review fan through the back first, since that is the move that precedes the new move. Okay, so with fan through the back, where you are is at the end of needle at Z bottom. So you're down here. And when you do fan through the back, what you need to do is think about lifting up and turning this hand so that it's like this at the end. So you're doing this gradually. And when it comes opposite your shoulder, you're like this. You're going to attach your left hand right behind the wrist. And then the left hand is going to help the right hand and push it up. And the thing that's important to remember is that your hands are still forward. In other words, they're not back here. They're forward so that when you separate, you have an even yin and yang. You have a forward and back that's pretty symmetrical. And at the end, the left hand is just like single whip. So you can look through the tiger's mouth. And this one is by your temple. So, and not too far away. So you're like a fist width away. So if I'm doing it toward you, and I'm here, needle at C bottom. And as I come up, I'm turning here, I'm attaching. When I get to the top, I step. And then shift weight. Essentially, it's shift weight strike, just like single whip. Okay, so let's see, I'll do it from the side. Okay, needle at C bottom, we're here. We're coming up, the right hand is turning, you're attaching, stepping, separating. And once again, just like single whip, your torso is straight up and down, which means that your hips are slightly more open than the corner so that this can come in and give you that nice straight stance. So you have to also remember that when your hip comes in, it does not mean that your knee comes in. Okay, your quad has to stay open. So you're here, you're coming up, you're attaching, you're stepping, and you're separating. And you're straight up and down. How does that feel? Questions? Yes, Yali?
Oh no, I had some sound problem. I had to reset the computer. I'm okay now.
Okay. Okay. So from needle at C bottom, one of the things that is hard to do is as you come up, you have to make sure that your weight is still 70-30. So all the while you're coming up, your weight is still 70-30. Then when you step, then you're rooting in the front and then separating. So you have energy forward and back, and you are separating. Now for the new move, I'll show you what the new move looks like, and then we'll break it up, okay? So you're here. Let's see, should I do it from this side? Well, I'll do it both ways. Okay, so you're at bow stance. You're going to do essentially the mirror image of a single whip in terms of the footwork. So you're going to come back and you're going to have 135-degree turn with the back foot. Your weight's going to come back and you're going to make this fist, and then you're going to chop and strike. So if we look at the footwork, your footwork is a bow stance. You're going to go bow stance to bow stance, 180 degrees. So you're at bow stance here. You're going to turn this foot 135 degrees. So how are you going to do that? You're going to shift all your weight back. And it's important that you do that, because if you do not do that, you're not going to release the front foot enough that you can actually turn it that much. So your ability to turn on the heel depends on all the weight being on the right. So all the weight goes on the right, and then you turn the left 135 degrees, so it's to that corner. Then you're going to put all the weight in the back, and then you're going to pull in and make a bow stance. But your weight is going to be like an empty stance first, and then it's going to be a bow stance. So you have had other situations where your feet were in the shape of a bow stance, but your weight was like an empty stance. And the first time you did this was rollback. Remember when you were here and you did rollback, when you came back, your weight was actually 70 in the back and 30 in the front, even though your feet are still in the bow stance shape. So it's similar to that. Your feet are going to be in the bow stance shape, and you're going to be 70-30 first, and then you're going to shift to 60-40. So let's try that. You're going to be, if we do it in the direction where we, if I do it in the same direction as you, it would be here, okay? I'm at a bow stance. Then I'm going to shift all my weight to the right and turn on my heel 135 degrees, so I'm facing that corner. Then I'm going to shift all the way back, pull in, step out to a bow stance, have 30% in the front, 70% in the back, and then shift to 60-40. So essentially, I have two energy contact points in this move. So you do have a slight pause when you have the empty stance, and then a pause at the end when you have the weight distribution of a bow stance. So let's do that a couple of times and then we'll work on the hands. So you're here because you were here, right? Then shift all the way to the right, turn on your heel, shift all the way to the left, pull in the right step out to a bow stance, but with the weight distribution of an empty stance, and then heel ball toe to a full bow stance. It will make more sense when we add the hands. Okay, let's look at the hands. For the hands, you were at fan through the back. What you're going to do with the right is you're essentially going to come around and deflect and push down. So you're going to make a circle, a rather small circle. And the reason you do not make a big circle is that you want to have the feeling of pushing down and then deflecting. So you're kind of like at stomach height when you end. You're making a circle and deflecting. So you're making it circle and deflecting, and your left hand is going to circle up and cover your head. So you're going to have this wheel type feeling, okay? So you started here, the right circles and deflects while the left protects the head. Okay, let's do that again. You started here, then you're making a circle. Okay. Now, you are making the circle while you're making your 135-degree turn. So when you're here, you're making your circle like this. So you're actually facing behind your original position when you have made your footwork turn. Okay, so if we start here, I don't know if you can see any better here, but I doubt it. Okay, so here, can you see my hands, one over my head and one here? Okay. So when you get to that position, what you're going to do is you're going to shift all the way to the back. Okay, so when you were here, you make this turn and you're going to shift all the way to the back. And when you do that, you make your fist. Then you pull in, root. And you are an empty stance here when you strike with the back of your fist. And then when you have your bow stance and strike, you're going to move the other hand forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this and we're going to make, I'll do it this way. We're going to make that circle, okay? We're going to do the footwork and make that circle. Okay, then shift weight back, make a fist. Then root the right and strike. So if I do this toward you, you can see that When I'm here, I shift back, I make my fist. I root and strike. So the coordination here is that as I'm coming forward, this hand is coming to my shoulder. Okay, so very often we have these things where you have one up, one down, one. What I want you to think of in this case is as this one goes up, what's going to come down here is not so much your hand. Think of your elbow coming down. Okay, so when you're here and you make your fist, as one comes in, one comes out, it's the elbow coming down and the fist coming out. Can you see that? And the important thing here is this is a chop. So what that means is when you're coming here, you're chopping. You are not doing a parry. So remember when you did here, you did a parry, as in parry, block, and punch. And that felt very much like this. It's kind of an empty stance feeling and you're coming forward. This is not that. This is coming when you move your arm over, your forearm is vertical and then you chop. Okay, you are not coming across diagonally. You're making vertical and then chopping. You see what I'm saying? Your striking surface is the back of your hand. So when you make your rounded shape, okay, your rounded shape, it ends with this part here. When I'm coming like this, okay, this is rounded and it ends up with this flat part being the striking surface, okay? So we were here, you came around, okay? Then your weight comes back, make your fist. You're going to root and chop. And here I am 70 in the back, 30 in the front, even though I'm in a bow stance. And then my torso still to the corner. Then as I strike, my upper body squares up. So when I'm here, I'm still facing that way. But then when I strike, I'm using a waist turn and a weight shift in order to get that last strike in. Does that make sense? Let's try it, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. So you emphasize the empty stance. So the rooting of the right foot is only 30%.
Yes.
And it has to be wide enough for a bow step.
Yes.
So, you know, your weight, most of your weight is on the left foot. Yeah. And then you're gonna have to go out and far enough for a bow step and only 30%. So your chopping doesn't really have a lot of energy because most of your weight is on the left and you're sitting down on your left leg.
Yes, so you're chopping. So basically it's like almost a whippy kind of chop. Because
What
when
kind
you're
of
coming,
chop?
it's like a whippy kind of chop.
A
It's like a
whippy?
whip.
Okay,
It's like a whip.
okay,
You know, you're whipping out, and you're stepping. Your whole heel is on the ground as you're doing this. Okay. But then you're still reserving that part of the weight transfer for that other strike. So you're doing two energy transfers. And usually when we have a move, you only pause at the end of the move. In this case, you're actually going to have two pauses because you pause at the end of an energy transfer. So this is a transfer. This is a transfer. Does that make sense? And yes, the main. So when you're chopping, it's as if your energy is coming from the heel of your foot up to your fist. Think of it that way. And then your actual weight transfer and waist turn is going to give you that strike energy. And actually the strike at the end is kind of like brush knee. You know, at the end of brush knee, you have something from your shoulder coming out and you transfer weight. So it should feel very much like that. So so when you're doing this, the turning, and then you're storing energy when you shift weight back and make your fist. Then you root just before you chop. But you must root before you chop, okay? So the coordination is important there.
Is there a little forward movement?
Yes, there is a forward movement. Think of the little bit of forward when you do raise hands. Okay, when you come, do you feel there's a little bit of forward when you do raise hands?
Yeah.
So that's the same kind of heel empty stance that you have. Okay, so it's a waist movement, and you have a heel. And in this case, this was from your coming around and turning. You know, when you were here, you stored energy when you came around and turned, right? And then you're turning the other way in order to strike. So the other part that sometimes happens is when you're coming down, when you're coming back, there's a great temptation to open too much. Okay, you want to come just to your shoulder. So if you look here, when I'm coming here, okay, my elbow does not go beyond my torso. Okay, it's here in front of my shoulder, because when I strike, I'm striking straight from the front of my shoulder. Also, your chop is also in front of your shoulder. Okay, it is not coming from here, it is coming here. Okay, so basically your hand is positioned here before it goes forward. Okay, so it is not going forward as it's getting to vertical. It gets to vertical first and then goes forward. You see what I'm saying? So we're here. When you turn around, okay, then you shift your weight back, make your fist. Pull in, root, chop, strike. Are there any questions? So when you're making your circle, your right hand actually makes a somewhat smaller circle than your left, because your left is coming high to block over your head. Your right is actually pushing down and deflecting. So because it's pushing down and deflecting, its circle is relatively small. There's a limit to how big the circle can be if you're pushing down. Once you get beyond a certain point, you no longer show pushing down. You can't get that down feeling with the palm pushing down with too big a circle. So you're here, you're pushing down and deflecting. Then you're coming all the way around. You shift your weight back and make your fist. You pull in, root, chop, strike. So the coordination is tricky. One of the sections where it's tricky is this part is easy. So one up, one down. Shifting weight and making the fist, this part is easy. But the part that's somewhat difficult is here. Because you want this to come in, you want this to be at your shoulder at the end of your strike. And so the distance traveled for each hand is different. So when you're coming around here, this is actually a very short distance. But here, you're coming here, making sure that your arm is vertical and then striking. So you're making a little an arc in this dimension in order to get that vertical chop. This one, you just come down. Whereas this one, because you're coming from here, you have to come vertical first and then chop. So let's try that a few times. I'm going to go the direction it's supposed to be going. Okay, so let's do it from needle at sea bottom. Okay, so we're at empty stance, ball touch. You're down here. Okay, you're going to goof, bend through the back. You stand up, turn your right, attach the left, push up when you're at the top step, then separate. You should be standing vertical. Turn body chop with fist. Turn your left foot 135 degrees as your arms circle. When you get all the way to the side, shift your weight back, make your fist, pull in the right, root, chop, strike. Okay. Let's just do the turnaround, turn body chop with fist a few times just by itself. Okay. So I'm going to go the same direction as you. So we're here. Turn body chop with fist. shift to the right, turn the left foot, circle the arms. When you get all the way over, shift the weight back to the left, make your fist, pull in the right foot, root, chop, strike. You will know that your step is not wide enough when you do the strike. Because if your stance is narrow, if you're here and you come around and your stance is narrow, it'll still feel good here. But when you get to here, it will feel very awkward. So you know, once you do it the first time, you'll know, oops, this is too narrow. And you will widen it for the next time. Okay? So I'll do it the opposite direction. Okay. So you're here, circle, turn. You're all the way to the side. Then shift weight back, make your fist, pull in the right, root, chop, strike. How does that feel? So Yali, you did get it wide enough.
I did, but it's hard to put just 30%.
It is hard to put just 30% because you're thinking, oh, I want to punch. And yes, but you know, the trick I found for empty stances is think down. Okay, when you're doing bow stances, I think forward. When you're doing heel touch empty stances, think down. Think about getting down. And then you will still have enough in reserve to go forward for the strike. And you also have to take into consideration that you have that waist turn to help your strike. You know, you're still facing the corner when you're doing the chop. So you have a waist turn to get into that strike. So you are going a little bit forward for the chop, but not as much as for your strike. Because you're pushing off the back foot for the strike. So here, all the weight is on the right. You're pivoting the left. All the weight is on the left when you make your fist. Then pull in, root, strike. Okay, I'll do it this way. So for the people who have trouble getting the 135 degrees, Nancy proposes that you use a T-step in order to get the rest of the way. So does anybody have a problem on that front? You don't get the 135 degrees? Good. Okay, let's do a few more practices of just this move, and then we'll do it from cross hands, okay? So I'm going to do it the right direction, which is here. Okay, you're looking through your tiger's mouth. Your hand is by your temple. Your right hand is by your temple. You're circling as all your weight goes to the right and you're pivoting. All your weight goes to the left. Make your fist. Pull in the right. Root, chop, strike. Okay, once again, we're at bend through the back. We're shifting to the right, pivoting on the left as you circle. Shift weight back. Make your fist, pull in the right. Root, chop, strike. Okay. One more time, and then we'll do it from cross hands. Bend through the back, then shift weight to the right, pivot the left, circle the arms, shift all the way to the back, make your fist, pull in the right, root, chop, strike. All right, let's do it from cross hand. I'm going to turn around and I'll call it. So you have your feet, shoulders width apart, your hands are crossed. Don't forget to keep your tree shape. Okay. Embrace tiger, return to mountain. Shift right. Turn the left foot almost to straight. Separate your hands. Pull in the right. Swing, step. Brush, strike. Roll back. Circle your hands. Right up, left down. Turn to the left. Press. Pull in the right. Attach the left. Press out to the corner. Push. Square up to the corner. Separate your hands. Pull back over a ball. Hands in front of your chest and push forward. Fist under elbow. Shift weight back. Flatten your hands. Pull and turn. Up, round. Push down. Release the left. Ward off with the left hand. Push out with the right. Step to the corner and connect. Step right and grab. Pivot the left. Pull down and make your fist. Shift your footwork. Pull up and punch. Step back and repulse monkey. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. 2, swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step. hand to the shoulder, turn and stride. Diagonal flying, turn, step and close, open. Raise hands and step forward. Pull in the left, circle your arms, root the right heel, and close. White crane opens its wings. Pull down, all the weight's on the back. Circle, step and close, turn, step and open. Left brush knee, turn your hands, swing, step, brush, strike. Needle at sea bottom. Yield forward, pull in the back foot. Pull back and switch your footwork and sink. Then through the back. Come up, turn your right, attach the left, step, separate. Turn body chop with fist. Shift right, pivot left, circle your arms. Weight comes all the way to the back as you make your fist, step, chop, strike. How did that feel?
Okay.
Let's do that one more time, okay? So we'll, maybe I'll start a little bit further over. Okay. Cross hands. Shift right. Turn the left foot almost to straight. Separate your hands. Pull in the right foot. Swing, step. Brush, strike. Go back. Circle your arms. Move your weight back. Turn to the side. Press. Pull in the right. Attach the left. Press forward. Push. Square up to the corner. Open your hands. Roll over a ball. Hands in front of your chest and push forward. Fist under elbow. Move weight back. Flatten your hands. Turn and pull. Press down. Release the left foot. Ward off with the left. Push with the right. Step with the left and connect. Step with the right and grab. Pivot with the left. Pull down and make your fist with the right. Change your footwork. Lift with the left and punch with the right. Step back and repulse monkey. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. 3. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Diagonal flying. Turn. Step and close. Pivot and open. Raise hands and step forward. Pull in the left foot. Circle your arms. Root the right heel. Close and root. White crane opens its wings. Pull down all the way to the back. Step and close. Turn. Step and open. Left brush knee. Turn your hands. Swing. Step. brush, strike. Needle at C bottom. Yield forward, pull in the right. Pull the right, block with the left. Change your footwork and sink. Then through the back. Come up, turn the right, attach the left, push up, step. Open and shift with. Turn body, chop with fist. Turn, circle your hands. Turn, make your weight go to the right, pivot the left, shift weight back, make your fist, pull in the right, step wide enough, chop and strike. How did that go? Yes? Okay, are there any questions about either the last move or any of the moves before? No? Okay, should we practice one more time before we close, or would you like to close first? Let's practice. Okay, I'm going to turn around. We're going to go from cross hands. Okay, cross hands. Shift right. Turn the left foot almost to the corner. Separate your hands. Pull in the right. Swing, step. Brush. Strike. Roll back. Circle your hands. Shift your weight back. Turn to the side. Press. Pull in the right. Attach the left. Press forward. Push. Square up to the corner. Open your hands. Roll over a ball. Hands in front of your chest and push. Fist under elbow. Shift weight back. Flatten your hands. Pull and turn. All the way around. Press down. Release the left foot. Ward off with the left. Push with the right. Step to the corner with the left and connect. Step with the right and grab. Pivot the left and pull down and make your fist. Root the left heel, lift up and punch. Repulse monkey. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder. Shift, turn and strike. 2, swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. 3, swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Diagonal flying. Turn. Step and close. Pivot and open. Raise hands and step forward. Pull in the left. Circle your arms. Root the right heel and close. White crane spreads its wings. Pull down. Circle your arms. Step and close. Turn. Step and open. Left brush knee. Turn your hands. Swing. Step. Brush and strike. Needle at C bottom. Yield forward. Pull in the back foot. Pull back on your heel. Change your footwork and sink down. bend through the back, come up, turn your right, detach the left, push up, step, separate and shift weight. Make sure you're straight up and down. Turn body chopped with fist. Shift to the right, pivot the left, circle your arms. Shift to the left, make your fist, pull in the right, root, chop, and strike. Looking good. Okay, well, thank you very much for joining me for class. And I'll see you either Friday at 3 or next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Rita.
Okay, you're welcome. That's great.
Thank you, Rita. Good class.
There, finally. Yes, thank you.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome.